hi everyone, welcome to Cocktails Over Fashion. Thank you so much. Stop it. No, continue. Tonight is so amazing because I have like the dopest girl I've ever met in my life, who is like this amazing designer, and she is a creative director like galore. She is the founder of IAMISIGO. Her name is Bubu Ogisi. I'm pronouncing it right. Bubu Ogisi, everyone!
Thank you for coming.
Aww. So as I said, Bubu is a creative entrepreneur. She was born in Lagos, Nigeria, living between Lagos and Nairobi. She's the founder, as I said, and creative director of the Nigerian contemporary women's wear brand IAMISIGO, Kenyan brand Vitimbi, and is one of the 4 members of the art collective H Factor. Bubu, please tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of your educational background and how did you take an interest in fashion?
I have a fashion master's in fashion, basically, from ESMUD. I went to school in Paris, went to school in Ghana, which is why I'm really attached to Accra. I've been obsessed with fashion because I used to watch my mom dress up every morning and see how she would bring out all the outfits and calculate every look. So for me, fashion is more about the mathematics of a look and a calculation of how you want to identify yourself and your personality for a day, and how certain fabrics or certain moods or associations can also present you a certain opportunity through your dressing. So that's how I got into fashion.
That's amazing. I think most of us is from our moms. Most of us is from our moms. So, where does the name IAMISIGO originate from? And when was it founded?
My IAMISIGO is my surname backwards. My surname is Ogisi, and for a Nigerian, your surname is everything. So the idea is to revamp that or re-establish that situation. And whenever I say my name, they always say, "Oh, Captain Ogisi, oh this, that," and it's like, no, I'm myself. So I'm turning everything upside down, and I'm starting from scratch. So whatever it is that I am is me, myself, and not my name or whoever I am or my father or whoever. So that's where my brand came from. It was founded here, actually, in Ghana. When I was schooling here, I realized my lifestyle was more than my income. I know all my friends here know what that means.
I know. Yeah, we all know.
So we were all doing like too many things, and I was like, okay, I need to sustain this situation, and everyone was like, I want what you're wearing. I like what you're wearing. So I was like, okay, I might as well reproduce everything that I sort of make for myself. I would make it for. So everything I make, actually for every collection, is I'm making it in myself, and then seeing other people in those pieces, essentially. So that's how we started out in 2009 in a little studio in Mataiko, up in North Kaneshie, actually, and then we moved that around different parts of Africa to Lagos and then to Kenya now.
Who is the quintessential IAMISIGO woman, and what does she represent, and what does she mean to the world?
So my target audience essentially is any woman or man who's willing to be to change the narrative, who's willing to stand out, who's not trying to sit on definitions, who's just very free in their minds. So I feel essentially the scariest people are people who are free-minded.
But before it was just women's wear.
Yes, essentially at the start it was just women's wear. So as time has gone by and because in fashion school what we're taught is that unisex does not exist. Yeah. This was in 2012. But I mean, like, it's 2019 now, so I mean, everything is all about unisex wear. So I feel like as a brand, we evolve every day. So I think for us, we are evolving into that state of being androgynous. We've always been androgynous, but now essentially we're now diving deep into that and trying to be more undefined. We are stapled as a women's wear line, but if you're a man and you essentially feel like you can wear our pieces, then you should wear our pieces.
So now let's get into like the really deep and interesting stuff. Not only do you create wearable art pieces, to be honest, but also abstract spaces and with unconventional, sustainable, recycled materials and heritage traditions from all over the African continent. This is a quote from you. Through moving visuals and space design, you convey lost heritage stories as a form of silent protest to post-neo-colonialism portrayed. Please elaborate on this as much as you can, because it's yummy, and tell us why it's so important to you.
It's important to me to sort of establish what we have here on the continent, because starting out as a brand, there were different brands that made me feel less of myself for producing or starting anything here. When I was starting out, a lot of people were producing in England, spending so much on like production. Some of my friends were producing in China, getting fabrics from India, and I was like, but that doesn't make any sense. We're here. There has to be a way. So I essentially started my travels and researching fabrics here in Ghana, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, and now moving into East Africa. And it's sort of removing that post-colonial narrative that nothing exists here. There are no fabrics here. There are fabrics here. Everything is what you're wearing is extreme. Everything is handmade here. Your shoes are all handmade here. Everything is made here in Africa. So that's my protest, to change the narrative, to change the idea that nothing exists here when everything exists here.
And on that topic, do you feel like how do you think that we can empower Africans to buy more African?
That's a really tough question. I think that boils down to consumer behavior. Essentially, it's just presentation, communication, and how we market it also. But I feel like it's slowly changing now. Everyone is buying African now. Yeah. But 5 years ago, that wasn't the same story we were telling ourselves. Because it makes no sense for you to invest so much money in people that don't really care about your well-being. I'd rather invest my money in women that I know I can go back to, who are on my continent, who are people I can relate to at the same time.
I want to know, like, the practical, physical influence that these countries that you operate in have on the production of your work, basically. And if you could, like, categorize, for example, what fabrics that you use and the materials that you work with, what inspires you in terms of the landscape that you operate in across the entire continent in East and West Africa?
So for this collection, it was sort of with every collection, I create stories in my head, which are real to me, anyways. And in reality, I hope they become real also. But it's sort of a post-apocalyptic situation where we have no way of getting any fabrics from anywhere else, or clothing or garments from anywhere else. But Africa is the dumping ground for everywhere else. So essentially, with this collection, it was me finding a way to solve that situation if it arises. How am I going to essentially dress up if I couldn't access anything else from anywhere else? And that's why I went to Kampala, and then I went to this deep village in it was very deep because I got arrested. It was a very long story. Anyway, very long story. They thought I was a Nigerian smuggler, but hey, I just wanted my fabrics. And for me, essentially, it's the same thing I said. I would rather go through all these issues and go through all these problems, knowing that I'm impacting these lives or giving the money that I've made back to the people within this certain region. In Nigeria, with the recycled fiber, I had no idea there was even recycling machines in Nigeria, and my friend was like, we just got this machine that breaks down all the plastic bottles and turns them into fiber. And I was like, wow, this is an outfit. Let's make some. So essentially, for me, that was an opportunity to change the mode of how plastic is used in Lagos, essentially, because Lagos is so, I don't want to say dirty, but it is. We consume so much plastic, and to find somebody, not only one person who's actually doing this and changing this into fiber, which is something that you can wear and not throw away after drinking or eating from it. You're wearing it, so you're keeping it in your wardrobe. So it is sustainable. And then finding these processes to educate people in wearing plastic, because plastic also is not something that's worn.
So, okay, here comes the drum roll question. Do you consider yourself an ethical fashion brand?
Oh, wow.
And if you do, what does that label mean to you, or how do you think that you adhere to that label?
With ethically speaking, I do think to a certain extent I am ethical, because I'm trying to sort of I'm not trying to push my brand into this fast fashion situation, because it's, as I said to you, the fashion industry is the second most polluted industry in the world after the oil industry. So for me, essentially, I'm a slow fashion brand. So in that sense, I might say I might be ethical. In another sense, also, I'm contributing to different communities all over Africa, and not only in my country, but in different parts of Africa. So yes, you can say that's ethical also. And with the outfit you're wearing, for example, the reason why it's patched is because we did not waste any of the fabrics in this collection, because we tried to cut everything in a box form so that it's sewn and
like nothing is wasted.
And nothing is wasted, essentially. So even the parts that are cut out are used for like seams inside and facings also.
So actually, we were talking about this collection actually, and this collection, by the way, guys, it's called She. So Supreme Higher Entity. That's so dope. That's so dope. And for this collection, you explore the issue of sustainability and waste and how they're affecting us as a people and our ecosystem in Africa. And with Africa being the dumping ground of the world, the global community is slowly discovering and taking interest in the importance of fiber and textile culture found on the continent. Now, tell us how you explored this with this particular line, because you worked with, textiles such as bark, cloth, and plastic, as you mentioned before. Yeah. And this is cotton that is from Kenya.
Yes.
So please explain that whole process to us and how you managed to convey this issue through your pieces.
So Supreme Higher Entity sort of tells the story of this female or male, and then she's going through three great cities of Africa, which is Lagos, Kampala, and Nairobi, in search for her supreme or divine aesthetic. So in Lagos, she starts off with recycling plastic, which is what I just spoke about, and finding ways to sort of retain plastic as an outfit as opposed to a disposable object. And then moves on to Kampala, which is one of the ancient cities of Africa, formerly known as Buganda, before known as Uganda, and then discovers the ancient art of bark cloth, which is one of the most sustainable fabrics in the whole world, which has to do with scraping the bark of the tree, stretching it, and then beating it, and then stitching it together, which creates
how fragile is that? You see, that's the thing.
It's very fragile, but it's very sustainable and wearable at the same time, and it's been worn for over, over 10 centuries. Yeah. It's existed from time. So it's all about going back to the past, but also staying in the future with plastic, going to the past with bark cloth, and staying in the present time, which is with the woven fabric, which is what you're wearing now, with Kenyan fabric or Kenyan cotton but also cotton in general, which is also an African fabric.
Yes. Or, I mean, who and what do you wish to inspire with your brand?
I just wish to inspire more people to like go out there and do more with African textiles, because we've been underrated and underestimated for a long time. So I feel like now is the time to sort of reveal what we've been like sort of been hiding or keeping secret, and not essentially put it out on a mass market basis, but just to like change the narrative in terms of telling people we do have things, and we have a lot of things that we have to expose and explore also. And it's just showing different people different ways of utilizing these different textiles and different forms of art, but also supporting these different people. Like in Kano, with my past collection, the sons have to start learning how to weave from the age of 10, and the men don't stop weaving until they die, which is after 90. So it's just like supporting these little families in these different places that would never be supported if nobody else came there. Just finding ways to sort of, I love my people, so I'm going to always support them and give back to them. I whenever they give me a price, I double it, and I say this needs to be more. This is extreme handwork. So this needs to be like this price. So if anybody else is coming to you like and wants this thing, you need to tell them that this is the price you want, because this takes like how many weeks to make. It's all handmade. There's no machinery involved. There's no technology involved. It's all black magic. So I feel like if essentially it's worth my price, it's worth my time, it's worth my pocket money or whatever. It's worth everything I have to sort of put into that person, and then that person puts into my aesthetic also.
That's amazing.
Which fashion designers out there do you look out for that that not just inspire you, but that you would recommend as well too? Because it's an entire ecosystem, and you operate as an incredible sort of force in that space. But who else out there do you respect and admire?
Who else? Who else? I mean, it's really... Who else? Tarek, this is a really stressful question, because I watch only me. I like to keep in my lane. Like what I'm wearing my friend Olo Concept. He's from Ivory Coast. He shot my last lookbook. So he's also a photographer. I like his stuff because it's sort of changing the narrative for menswear also here, because we're so used to in West Africa we're used to a certain we're trying to decolonize the way we dress also, and just infuse our own ways of dressing, as opposed to sticking with what we've been taught to wear, which is shoes, jackets, look like this, look this way. Don't show skin, show skin. We've always shown skin. We're Africans. We show our boobs. We show our yansh all the time. So be free. Who else inspires me? My friends, I would say, which brand inspires me? Kenneth Ezed inspires me. Which other brand? Maki O's, really, really cool. Who else? I think that's about it.
You've only mentioned men designers, by the way.
No, that one man, one female.
You've only mentioned men.
No, Maki does.
Oh, you mentioned Maki?
Yeah, Maki does.
Yes, Maki.
Yes.
So where do you draw your inspiration from?
Everything. I'm a little crazy, so I keep ideas. I'm really, really obsessed with clothing, guys. It's very, very sad. My wardrobe is ridiculous. My room is ridiculous. I would say my number one inspiration has to be my mother, because she sort of taught me that the way you dress is the way you will be respected and the way you'll be looked at. So for me, the way I dress is my mood and the way I want to be seen. But essentially, it's for me and how I see myself. So when I'm dressing up, I'm not thinking about what anybody else is thinking about me. I'm thinking about how I think about myself. Which is why I also say I always look inwards. I know it's very sad, but I always look inwards. So I always think about stories that I've gone through growing up, places I've been to, places that I've read about and I've dreamt about, which is why I also wanted to go to Kampala in Kenya. One of my collections had to do with me being a tomboy as a child and wanted to be this girly girl, and always being obsessed with the 1950s classic Calamity Jane, which is about a cowgirl who becomes married to a cowboy at the end and has to become girly. So stories like that, but also...
I was going to just say, like, I tend to hate when people say, oh, I used to be a tomboy, because because like who made the rule that I cannot wear like shirts? I've been obsessed with shirts since I was a kid. Literally, I've stolen shirts from my grandfather to my father to my brother to all of my exes, and it's like I'm just obsessed with shirts, and I just don't understand why it should be categorized as being like something. It's just
this or that.
It's a piece of garment, like, and I like it and I feel comfortable in it. So why does it have to be labeled as anything? Even menswear and women's wear. What I love about what you just said
slowly merging
is
now.
that I shop in the men's department as much as I shop in the women's department, and like they think I'm buying stuff from for my boyfriend, and sometimes I feel guilty, so I'm like, yes, it's for my boyfriend Jeremy, but like no. By the way, there's no Jeremy, so like, listen. but what I'm saying is like it's just annoying that they're constantly like labels that have to that we need to adhere to, and I don't think that it's suitable in fashion when fashion is like the way to express yourself. You know what I mean? The way
it's fashion is creating to fashion to fashion something that is unknown, unseen or unheard of, and so that's my ideas or my lifespan has inspired me to create different things that I see people wearing in the future.
Based on your experience in the fashion and art industry in Africa, what advice would you give to young aspiring creatives? Like, what do you think that they should focus on and expect, and what at the same time do you feel like they should not focus on and not expect?
I think they should focus on everything. It's especially the fact that the fashion industry is more than being a fashion designer. There are other jobs that have to do with fashion merchandising, fashion communication, marketing, fashion anthropology, also different things. Also, I feel like fashion is so broad that there needs to be more people in different sectors in the fashion industry, so there is an actual industry that is evolving and that has like a bulk of people to grow with. Because if there's just a bunch of people in one part of the sector, then the other part of the sector sort of crumbles and sort of is shaky. Fashion PR needs to evolve also. Fashion photography needs to evolve. You can't be a wedding photographer and be a fashion photographer at the same time. It does not make any sense. So you need to focus on...
The way you looked at me was so deep.
As in, I feel like we just need to, like, everyone just needs to, like, actually specify themselves and actually stick to certain places that they know would sort of build themselves in different sectors and make them involve in those and specialize in those sectors and build up those sectors properly and not look at what other people are doing.
Yeah, for sure. And what do you think that they should not, they should not expect? Because I think...
well, I think they should expect everything. It's just Africa. Expect everything.
No, but like all the people that are going into this for more of a,
expect
fame and fortune.
If you think you're going to expect fortune, expect to fail. Expect everything. That's what I mean by expecting. Expect to be broke. Expect to be broke. Expect to be drinking Gary, like... Even though you've sold something,
Charlie, I didn't even know you could drink Gary.
Baby,
sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I eat it. I don't
expect
drink
the kelewele nights. Expect that. Like, I've gone through a lot to be. expect everything and expect when the good times start coming, like just keep on expecting.
And then you
good
appreciate
times,
it more.
Appreciate everything. Whether you're like sleeping on the floor, it doesn't matter. Whether you have to just expect everything.
So for you, like what you're saying, the main objective should be to really know
just
exactly
ground
who you
yourself,
are,
yes,
and what you can offer.
Really know yourself and really
Yes.
know what you're doing and really know what you're going for.
All right, so I would first of all say that you've inspired me so much, and I'm sure you know that because we talk about that. And over the years, I've learned so much from you. I would want to ask, what do you think has to be done as Africans, as creatives, to keep pushing ourselves out there?
Essentially, I think you have to create a system for yourself. Other countries have created systems for themselves. There's no one telling us not to create systems for ourselves. A system is created out of nothing. So essentially, you have to create something out of nothing. And if nothing exists, you have to create something. So if you are complaining about a system that is non-existent, then you have to find out what the system has to be and then start creating it. If you're doing everything on your own, essentially you have to start out doing everything on your own. I started doing everything out on my own also. I like doing everything on my own too sometimes. I mean, as you evolve and you get bigger, you have to sort of delegate and bring in more people. So the only way I would say to help is to sort of collaborate with more like minds and also liaise with more people and sort of expose yourself and travel more. Because I think the only way the mind is exposed is by traveling and collaborating. If you always keep ideas to yourself, then you become sort of an island.
Now, if you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would those 3 words be? Don't use crazy. You've used it so many times.
Da-da-da-dum. No. Oh my God. I would say quiet.
What?
I'm quiet.
In social settings.
Crazy.
Said no crazy.
Antisocial.
You have I don't think you know
I don't know how
yourself.
to describe myself.
Yeah, you don't.
Okay, I would say, seriously speaking, undefined, raw, and extremely minimal.
There we go. That's definitely you. Okay, if you could say something to your younger self, what would that be?
Get that money.
Get that money.
Get that money.
Why, you didn't think about money when you were younger?
Money. I feel like when I was younger, I was still trying to,
I want to be meaningful to the world.
A struggling artist, trying to be, not pricing people as I should have. But I feel like, seriously speaking, if I could tell a younger me to be me, I'd say just continue doing what you're doing and just don't underestimate yourself. I've underestimated myself so many times and thought about if I was. I send my mom my collections all the time, and my mom always says, "These clothes are for mad people." Yes, she says that. She says this clothes, and she comes to my shows. She's like, "I'm impressed," but I'm like, "Make up your mind. Am I a mad person or are you impressed? What is the deal? Just tell me." So if I listen to other people, especially my family members, I would not be where I am now because they don't understand me. I'm the only one that understands myself. So if I saw a younger me, I would tell myself, "Do not ever underestimate yourself. Never think twice." And just keep doing what you're doing.
I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. And even though the traffic was crazy and everything, and as we discussed just now, thank you so much for supporting this little thing, this little conversation event that we are having called Cocktails Over Fashion. because it means a lot to me. I just feel like we need to share, and we need to share our stories and support one another and inform one another. And so thank you very much. And I want to thank, as usual, Front Back, because Front Back is like such a safe space for us to like talk and share and with complete ease. And then I want to thank more specifically Tarek Mugani for being the most awesome man ever. Tarek supported my crazy idea a long time ago, and now I think he regrets it, kind of. But anyway, he likes looking at me in clothes. We'll talk about that later. And thank you to my one and only beautiful, amazing Bubu. Because your story is truly amazing and inspiring, and you're so dope, and you're so badass.
Thank you.
And
you too, baby.
Keep kicking butt. Love you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Oh. Clothes in the library. Go there now.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yankuno na